What's up again, Honesty Podcast audience? It's Pat Voss. This is the Honesty Podcast vlog series. Every single day you can come here for your best in sports and entertainment, creativity, social media design. You come to me first. I'll let you know what's what. By the way, this is episode vlog number 10. We're finally 10 days in. I've done 2 episodes of the Honesty Podcast. I've done 2 interviews that I've had posted up here. You know, you can go check out my other playlists like Sports Stories and Dance Sessions. You can like the page, share the page, comment, and definitely click subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Of course, working with Google AdSense, things like that. Everyone knows you work with Google AdSense, it's pay-per-view, not pay-per-click, or a pay-per-subscribe. So definitely don't forget to see this video before you hit subscribe. Guys, a couple things. It's Cubs season for me. I'm very happy. The Cubs won the World Series this year. They're the 2016 World Series champions. I couldn't be happier. The Blackhawks are doing well. They're in the front of their division. The Cubs won the World Series. The Bulls are doing well. The Bears can go wherever. All the teams that I watch are doing well, and I'm very excited. So, a lot of moves that are being made around Major League Baseball. Chris Sale, they say that he's not going to get dealt. He's not going to get dealt to the north side. It's okay. It's okay. If we don't get Chris Sale, whatever. We still have such a great lineup back to front. I really believe that we could at least make it back to the NLCS again this next year in 2017 with the lineup we have now. We said goodbye to Dexter Fowler. We signed John Jay from the San Diego Padres. We have Mike Montgomery coming back. You have Arrieta, Lester. You have Hendricks. You have, excuse me, Lackey. You have the guys that you had this year coming back next year, adding more depth in pitching. C.J. Edwards is coming. Hopefully we get either Jansen or we get a really good closer. Maybe we convert Mike Montgomery to a closer. You know, I don't see any problem with that. I really don't see any problem with it. And here, this is so that it's not necessarily product placement. So you can't see what it is, but everybody knows what it is. Anyways, I have a problem, though, with people thinking that just because the Houston Astros re-upped, that all of a sudden they're going to be the next Cubs. No, they're not. They're not going to be the next Cubs because the Cubs were the next Cubs. The Cubs are it. Indians were amazing. They took us 7 games, made us work hard, work our asses off for it. We had to go 10 innings in the 7th game. By far one of the best teams we've ever faced as a team, and we won. We came out victorious with that roster. Ben Zobrist is back. Jay Hayes back. Our infield is back. Javi Baez and Schwarber may not be, but we don't know who's on the trade block out of those two. If both, maybe. But we do have Zobrist. You do have Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras. I mean, come on. You have a lineup that for the next 2 to 3 years could really do some damage if the pieces aren't moved around too much. They could do some damage. I mean, Chicago, Northside fans in particular, I'm talking to you guys. Don't be surprised if in the next 3 years we win 1 to 2 championships. Do not be surprised. We will be the dynasty of baseball, of Chicago baseball. We will be the new dynasty of Chicago baseball, whether it's consecutive NLCS trips, consecutive World Series trips, whatever. We will be the dynasty in Chicago sports. Next to the dynasty in 3 and 6 years that they started creating for the Blackhawks, or the Bulls in the 90s had 6 and 8. You know, those teams all won multiple titles in less than 10 years. Multiple titles. The Blackhawks, like I said, 3 and 6. That's not bad, especially for hockey and then that physical-ass sport. But for basketball, for a team to win 3 years in a row take 2 years off after Jordan leaves, and win 3 more years in a row when he comes back is pretty freaking crazy. It's really phenomenal. And that feat, I believe, will never happen again. Because nowadays you don't have that team. You have teams like Cleveland. You have teams like Golden State who have, in basketball, they have the tendency to go back to the finals. But Golden State didn't repeat. They won and beat Cleveland, and then Cleveland got their shit together and came back and beat Golden State. Now this year, I don't think it's going to be Cleveland Golden State in the finals. Honestly, I really think it's going to be maybe Toronto and Golden State, or like I said last year, Toronto and San Antonio. Who knows? You could see that shift happen this year. OKC, Russell Westbrook. By the way, I don't hate Russell Westbrook. I guess in his mind probably I'm accidentally a Kevin Durant fan. But I was a KD fan when he was with OKC with Westbrook. The thing I'm not pissing and moaning about, the thing I'm not mad about, is because I'm from Chicago. I have my own group of sports to worry about. I'm not worried about why or if or when KD left OKC to go to Golden State. Awesome. And Russell Westbrook is an amazing talent. It's okay, though, but I'd hate to say, though, if Golden State faced OKC, I'd be rooting for Golden State. I'm not when people say bandwagon jumper, they say that they're bandwagon jumpers because they think that they hated a team or they didn't even pay attention to this team until they started winning. It's like, no, they paid attention to the team when you have people who are actually physically amazing and just great to watch. I mean, you put a product out there, now they're great to watch. Ask how many White Sox fans, and this is the thing, until recent years, since 05, ask people how many White Sox fans actually watched 85 to 90% of the games for the White Sox. And probably you'll get 2% of the fans you ask. Same thing with Cubs fans. Up until about 2013 into 2014 or so, or 2014 into 2015, how many Cubs fans were actually watching the Cubs in 85 to 90% of the games? And this is no lie, I am one of those. I was watching those guys through all the games. I was suffering through everything. And that's what I want to get out of the way real quick. This is going to be a quick rant. I want to get out of the way that there are fair weather fans everywhere, okay? And I'm not going to, and by the way, before I say this, this is a parental advisory type of thing. This is the Honesty Podcast vlog, so I'm going to be brutally honest. I hope you don't mind. I fucking hate fair weather fans. I really do. I hate fair weather fans because those guys, that's like me after the White Sox won the World Series in 05 going, man, those White Sox are really great and I can't wait to see them next year. I don't give a shit about the White Sox. I really don't care. They have great talent. I will talk about them on a show because I am a factual person. I will talk about what they actually do stat-wise. I will talk about it like that. I will reference it like that. But I will not have the kind of referencing and the kind of emotion that I really have about my Cubs like I do for them when I talk about the White Sox. It's not going to happen. It just doesn't happen because it doesn't exist. And I've got a lot of people on my case lately talking about how, well, you went to a White Sox game at Comiskey with your fiance and and you were wearing all White Sox gear. It's like, yeah, that's, what you'll do in love, what you'll do to please people. I don't root for them. I just go there to please people. I blended in wearing the White Sox stuff. My first game ever, by the way, at Comiskey, and I don't care about Guaranteed Rate Field or U.S. Cellular. Forget all that. It's Comiskey. At least that I have respect for. I really have respect for original parks. I have respect for the names. I I love Wrigley Field. If they ever changed it on me as a fan, I would be just livid. And then people might come up and ask, well, would you still watch the games? It's not necessarily all of them. If I felt like the Ricketts family was selling out to gain more followers to the field or gain more traffic to their website, or, you know, I just don't. I think the teams here in Chicago shouldn't sell out, and it's okay. I don't blame the players. I don't blame Cubs or Sox players for whatever, because they don't have control of that. They do not have control of what it's changed to, and it's okay. I just feel that it's a losing situation for them. Oh, where do you play at? I'm part of the Chicago White Sox. Where do you play? Guaranteed rate field. What the fuck is that? And for Wrigley, if it ever changes, well, where do you play? Or like in Minnesota. I was just in Minnesota just a while back to visit my fiance's friends, and their field is Target Field. I mean, yes, Target, their headquarters is in Minnesota, but Target Field. What happens if Target goes out of business? Target goes out of business. It's Target Field, where the Twins play. One of the most terrible teams I've ever seen in my life. As of recent years, rather, and let me just clarify that. As of recent years, one of the most terrible teams I've ever seen. But it's unfair to the players to have their field basically be mocked in a game of baseball, one of the greatest games, if not the greatest game in the history of mankind. And I know that's exaggerating a little bit, but it's one of the greatest games, and if not the greatest game that I've ever played. And I played it throughout school. And it, you know, of course, anybody that knows me knows I got hurt and I couldn't play anymore, you know, throwing wise. But I could always hit. I could always catch, run, jump, hit. You know, I could do all that. It hits me at home when a baseball field is taken for granted, or the game of baseball is taken for granted. I kind of feel like that shouldn't be happening. That's not something that's natural to the game. And I completely disagree with it. And by the way, if you like the content, I'm going to be very upfront and honest. I do vlogs every day. I do blog posts at honestypodcast.weebly.com. I do, you know, and I do promote. This is the thing. I am here to entertain you guys. I'm here to entertain every fan that watches these shows, whether it's the videos of the YouTube vlogs or the interviews or the full episodes, you know, whatever. I'm here to entertain you, and I hope by being a ranting, raving lunatic, spitting out bullshit every day, which is awesome. It's so much fun to do. By doing this, I'm hoping you guys like me. That's what it truly is. It's truly, I hope you guys like me and what I represent as the everyday fan, the guy that sits in front of his TV and loves what he does. I love it. I love it. And by the way, go check out my Twitter handle, @HonestyPodcast on Twitter, because I do tweet out all my new articles and things going on in the news for sports and entertainment. I tweet all that out. And definitely make sure to subscribe to this channel, because I also put out new and interesting content, by the way. And here pretty soon, because my laptop and my equipment is actually coming in this week. By the end of this week, I should have everything. The headphones, the laptop, the stand, the microphone. I'll be set up. So I'll still do videos on here. I'll do vlog videos on here. But probably my full episodes are going to be shot from the laptop or the Chromebook. And that's okay with me, because it's going to be a much better sound. You know, you hear my voice now, and it sounds a little echoey, maybe a little hollow, and it's natural. And I'm not going to do really anything to it putting on my voice on the microphone. So you'll hear the smooth transition, no background noise, no echo. It'll be smooth. I'll do Google Hangouts, by the way, if you join on Patreon, and if you join and support the page. There's a support the page. If you click support and you support with $1, $5, $50, it doesn't matter what you support. If you support financially, I will do 3 times a month, I will do a Google Hangouts specifically for you who donate. So you can come in the room, whatever the topic that we all agree on to discuss, I will ask for your opinion on what topic to discuss. I will discuss a topic of social media. I'll discuss a topic of if it's sports and entertainment again, if it's, how to handle life problems, whatever it is. It is a very intimate setting. It will be just locked in the room for me and the viewers that do subscribe and donate. I really appreciate it. I'll be doing that. And also, guys, check out gmbsports.com. I am a writer as well over there. So not only do I do my sports podcast here, but I'm also writing for GMB Sports. They're getting closed circuit television, public access TV set up for them in Florida. So Preston, how you doing? And hopefully very soon I'll either be able to call into that show or fly down there and take part in that, because I really would love to either be on screen or be in production over there. And of course, in January, I will take about a week break. I will do blog posts. I will do an interview on a cruise that I'm going on. I'm going to the Bahamas, St. Martin, St. Thomas. It's the Seventh Heaven Cruise. Go check them out, seventhheavenband.com. And of course, also my fiance's band, Rumor Has It, HAZIT band.com. And you can check me out, Honesty Podcast on Twitter. Honesty Podcast on Periscope, and it's Honesty_podcast on Periscope. Honesty Podcast on Instagram, and of course you can check out my honestypodcast.weebly.com site. I'll see you guys later. Ranting and raving is always a good thing. It makes you feel better. Have a good day or good night whenever you're watching this. I love you guys. I'll see you later.